Here's my take on Nailed 2006. A low-budget thriller that fuses crime, psychological horror, and supernatural elements, with strengths, pitfalls, and whether it's worth your time. Plot and premise. The film opens tautly. Two criminals, fleeing police, break into what they believe is an abandoned house, hoping for momentary refuge. Instead, they discover a man bedridden and wrapped in bandages, tended by an eerie caretaker whose motives seem obscured. From there, the boundaries between crime thriller and haunted house horror begin to blur. Hallucinations, shifting reality, and unsettling apparitions intrude. It has a concept with promise. Criminals entering a space they don't fully understand, only to become pawns in something darker. The idea that the house is not just a hideout but a threshold for supernatural malevolence gives the film a twisty potential. Strengths. Atmosphere over showmanship. For what it is, Nailed leans into mood and creeping unease rather than jump scares or gore. Several reviewers note that it starts as a crime thriller before edging into ghost story territory. The direction, despite limited resources, attempts deliberate pacing and visual framing. Door slams, disappearing objects, to sow disquiet. Performance anchors. The cast does solid work under constraints. In particular, Sam Sarpong plays the tougher, more volatile street-wise criminal with some swagger, while Wilson Germain Heredia-esque caretaker, Adam, exudes an unsettling calm. Their interactions, especially as trust erodes, provide some of the film's most compelling moments. The caretaking figure's inscrutability is more affecting than many of the spectral elements. Body horror and subtle unease. One of the better threads is how the film uses slight physical changes. Itching, scratching, discomfort, as signs that something is wrong. A gradual alienation of the self. A dollhouse scene, mirroring the house itself, is often cited as a memorable visual. Weaknesses and missed opportunities. Thin and uneven narrative. While the concept is intriguing, Nailed often feels stretched. The middle act drags. The protagonists repeatedly debate whether to leave, circle the same arguments, or wander into new rooms without deepening the mystery. Critics and fans alike point out the sluggish pacing and under-realized stakes. Underwhelming payoff/unexplained twist. The film's climax and twist are divisive. There's an attempt at a reveal, but many feel it didn't land or was not sufficiently built up. Some narrative threads seem loose, leaving the viewer unsure what exactly has been going on. Low budget limitations. Budget constraints are visible. Limited sets, modest effects, and sometimes sparse dialogue. At times, the supernatural intrusions feel more implied than fully realized, which is a double-edged sword. Sometimes effective, sometimes underwhelming. Repetitive horror beats. After a few ghostly appearances or flickers, the surprises diminish. The spectral elements tend not to evolve significantly, and what began as eerie becomes familiar. Verdict and viewing recommendation. Nailed is not a masterpiece. It's flawed, lean, and rough around the edges, but it's not without interest. For fans of horror thrillers who enjoy watching ideas over polish, there's merit here. If I were rating it, atmosphere/mood, 3 stars. Plot/coherence, 2 stars. Performances/characters, 2.5 stars. Impact/memorability, 2 stars. Overall, maybe a 2.5 stars out of 5 is fair. If you're okay with uneven pacing and want to see a small-scale genre mashup that leans on suggestion rather than spectacle, it might be worth a look. But don't go in expecting a tight, fully satisfying supernatural thriller. If you like, I can also compare Nailed to other films with a similar vibe or suggest better alternatives in this subgenre. Do you want me to do that?